we're going to champ select.
That was a really good pause there, Stress. It would have been awkward had there been like another 20 seconds.
Yeah, that would have been really bad.
It worked out really well. Nice timing. But we have the first bans coming through in the second game here. Will be Braum aimed at Hustling. I agree with that. I like banning away these tanky melee supports from Hustling because there's not many of them. Maybe you can force him to go on something that he's less comfortable on. It's pretty good. He was causing some problems in the later team fights, but Vladimir will be taken away by Giants. No real surprise there. Irelia at Smitty J. I like to see teams respecting him now.
Now, does the Olaf get through on the last ban from Giants? Giants have already banned out the Vlad. Karma is still there. We will see whether Fnatic ban that out for themselves, because they can only get one of the two. So,
yeah. True that. That is how that works. Azir was another ban from Giants. 3 seconds remaining on Fnatic. They're going to ban away Karma. All right, taking away that high priority support or mid laner.
So Olaf ban into Nidalee or Nidalee ban into Olaf would be my gut instinct looking at this. I feel like Giants probably are better off doing the Nidalee ban and then giving the Olaf, but then we've seen both Gamsu and Spirit play it. But Fnatic tend to draft those lower crowd control compositions that kind of are difficult to pull off.
Yeah. I think I'd be more scared of Nidalee. Actually, I don't know what I'd be more scared of, because that's going to be a first locking up the Berserker himself, Olaf.
I'd be more scared of Spirit's Nidalee. Like,
Yeah.
legitimately, I feel like he has done what Maxlord just did to him to too many people to let that Nidalee go through. So I'm on board with what Giants have done here. What is this rotation coming out for them? Is this where they go for the Jhin side if they want to run it? Taking it away, perhaps?
Perhaps. Let's see what Giants want. Yeah, I think Jhin should be high priority for them. I really like Sunstar on that pick, but he did fine as Ashe. I mean, he did everything he needed to. He just launched an arrow and picked multiple kills.
Also, they could get the Swain here that we saw on Smitty J and maybe flex it between himself and Knight. Also, Knight's Victor, they could look to early pick it if they're looking to counter pick top lane. A lot of options still available here for the Giants on second rotation.
Yeah, hovering over the Jhin, hovering over Yasuo, but I think one of those two are going to be locked in, and it's not Yasuo. So Jhin can be picked up here with Nami. I like that combination a lot. Saw it last game, and didn't do so well for Fnatic.
Yeah, stealing the bottom lane away. It's always a curious decision when you swap team compositions.
Yeah.
We saw that in Challenger with Nerve and Millennium this week, where Millennium ran a comp that failed, and then Nerve went, oh,
good composition, we'll take it.
I like the comp, you just didn't do it right, and then lost with it. I'm
Yeah.
looking at it and I'm like, oh, I don't really know how I feel about that. But, you know, we won't have the Braum this time to do a full swap. We won't have the Nidalee either. So, some big picks taken away. If we see the Gnar locked in, obviously that tells us it's the Olaf in the jungle. So probably looking at support and potentially a blind pickable mid laner here, like a Victor for Febiven.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Oh, Gnar going to be locked in first, so we have that for sure. So it will be Olaf out of the jungle, Gnar going into the top lane. And now we are looking towards the last lock-in here from Fnatic on this rotation.
Which makes me completely wrong on what I was anticipating to come through on this rotation.
Oh, okay. Sivir going to be picked up. I mean, makes sense. Karma's been banned and you have an Olaf, so you want to be speeding him up, trying to get into those fights as fast as possible. Have him run all over Jhin, hopefully. And now it's down to Giants. See if they can play like a keep away composition, perhaps. See what they pick up here.
And again, the Gnar now is going to compensate for some of the crowd control that Fnatic normally don't draft with these types of compositions. So we've still got options for support. They played the Alistar yesterday. I kind of don't want to see it again. I'm not a big fan of Alistar in the current meta. It's almost impossible to lane, especially into like Jhin, Nami. You have to lane swap.
Yeah.
And at that perspective, it's also difficult sometimes to orchestrate the dives that you need from Alistar. Yes, he's going to have teamfight presence, but apart from that, not a whole lot else.
True that. Not the same as he once was, unfortunately, that cow, but we will have Swain locked in once again for Giants. So, again, it's going to be a flex because we don't have two top or mid pickups, and Rek'Sai for the jungle for Maxlord. So, just standing out of the jungle there. And, again, seeing Smitty on this Swain pick is so interesting to me because he did really well on that pick last game, albeit they were very far ahead. It's just not what I would consider a Smitty J champion.
And it's the same matchup now as well, into the Gnar that we saw go even for a very long part of the game. It was only after that Executioner's Calling and a lot of extra damage that Swain actually started to fall off against the Gnar. So I wonder whether we'll see the same thing come out. But, I mean, the same solution as always was just put a couple of people's attention onto Smitty J, and as long as you don't lose anything on the other side of the map, you can really pick him apart. Does have a good start to the game, though.
All right, Rai is going to be picked up here for the mid lane, as Nara is being picked up as well. And there's the yellow star bard we were talking about last Champions Select Stress.
Last time we saw it was really his TSM days. Wasn't the most convincing of games, honestly, when we look at it. A lot of people came away from that with a bit of a sour taste in their mouth, but we'll see whether he's worked on it. It also gives Fnatic, again, more engaged potential with this Olaf composition that they want to run. They've also got some good scaling now with the Ryze, with the Sivir. So everything, again, from Fnatic is pushed all towards team fights. We'll see this time, without the Nidalee, can Giants get a good enough lead early to stop Fnatic from grouping?
It's very possible. Every time we've seen Sunstar and Jin, we always see them get ahead early mid-game, really able to utilize that pick well, with specifically Rek'Sai as well. That only just clicked in my head. That was one of the big things they were using to set up Deadly Flourish with Prey Seeker. So cool to see that come out from the jungle, facilitating Sunstar. Final pickup of Victor will go tonight. Had a pretty good game last game. I actually liked creative ways he was finding to look for flanks and land really big ultimates.
Yeah, that one fight where he cut down from the backside of the fight and was able to get in and punish Fnatic for trying to fight on two fronts. Really good example of the plays that we've started to see from Knight a little bit more. Saw a couple at the beginning of the split. Really settling with the rest of Giants. So Fnatic, again, on a team fight. On the side of Giants, honestly, they kind of want to do the same. Yes, they'll have the ability to be in a side lane with Rek'Sai and with Swain, but they've got a Jhin, they've got a Nami, Victor, Swain, Rek'Sai, like all good picks for the same kind of thing. So maybe we'll have a little bit more of a back and forth game.
Hopefully. Fnatic may be playing more defensive as well, but hopefully they won't get completely wrecked by Maxwell. I mean, he's not on Nidalee this time, he's on Rek'Sai, and Rek'Sai isn't going to destroy you in the jungle 1v1 compared to a pick like Nidalee who can snowball really hard. So at least that is something that Fnatic can sigh a little bit and breathe a sigh of relief. There we go, that was a phrase. I was just like, just sigh.
We have messed up a lot of idioms.
We have idioms, synonyms, metaphors.
Idioms for idiots.
That's us. This is the duo. Welcome to the Pulse and Stress cast. But we're going to get into the second game here. But first, I'm going to use the hashtags FNC win and GIA win. You think is going to take this one home? I wonder if the fan support of Fnatic is stronger than what we saw from game one from Giants. I'm actually very curious. But we are about to get into game here. You can hear the crowd getting hyped and getting ready. And the fan support, in the studio at least, is definitely over to Fnatic. But we're about to get onto the ref here, Stress, for this second game and our final game of not only the day, but also the week between Fnatic and Giants.
And this marks game number 100 for the split. That's a lot of games already, so...
It's a lot of games, can confirm. Already had more than last split combined in the regular season. But Knight, he's going to fan out. Man, you must be really scared of your Giant right now. You can literally hear not only the chants from Fnatic, but the entire studio is literally rumbling.
Yeah, and we don't even have one in this game.
No.
Goku's in there a little
bit.
Oh, Max Low. He's not going to die because he's under the turret. I was debating intentionally tilting you by making bad and misaligned anime references. I did it to Trevor this week with the, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, the Rasengan. I was like, I never watched Dragon Ball anyway. The look he gave me in Challenger.
I'm glad he did that. Props to Trevor on that one. That's, alrighty. So, yeah, I saw Olaf running towards Max and I was like, yeah, he's fine. Like, Olaf's not going to completely murder him. Spirit actually popped Ghost there, interestingly enough. It's like, I'm going to run at you real fast. I'm going to scare you. I'm going to send a message early game so you don't come into my jungle again.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be off cooldown realistically by the next time they meet each other.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Once you take both buffs, that kind of thing, it should be okay for Spirit. We're also looking to be in Australia lanes. So, as we start this game off, Featherman had a pretty tough time last game. This time he's running the Ryze into Victor, so you kind of assume maybe a slight advantage for Knight in the laning phase, but ultimately Featherman's going to be able to farm himself up fairly confidently, and we saw this earlier coming out in the HUK matchup, where Ryu managed to turn it on at the end of the game. Heavy damage going to come out from this bard lane though, but Sunstar and Hustlin wanted to call it. They take the 2v2 intentionally, having themselves with that Thunderlords now on Jhin. We were talking about it in the last game, Sunstar ran it. So a lot of damage going to come out in response.
Yeah, looking towards the early mid game. That is really where Giants want to be getting ahead as well, so it makes a lot of sense. Spirit is waiting in the jungle though. Maxlor may become the hunted in this game here, Stress.
Oh,
there's the Hunter toe. Maxlor is low. He's going to go underneath, get the knock up, and now
Spirit
also chiming in. Maxlor jumped out the Spirit. He gets the 1v1 kill against Spirit. Maxlor, first blood. Yellowstar coming in here, not going to get the red buff. He's going to be closed in by Hustling as well. Needs to be dodging some skill shots. Has to flash out of the way of the deadly flourish. But Sunstar is still encroaching on him. 4-shot lands, dancing grenade. Hustling and Maxlor will be receiving a cosmic binding. Actually landed onto Sunstar as well, but that was an invade gone very, very wrong.
Maxlor is getting right into Spirit's mind right now. Reads the players. Spirit comes out of the bush by throwing the axe. He's just like, okay, well, if you're going to be there while you know, red buff's still attacking.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, mid lane, Featherman, so low.
He's so low and he's so far pushed up. Maxlor, easiest gank of the century right there. Comes in, gets the knock up, gets the kill.
2-0. Maxlor now wants himself potentially another red buff here as he's going to look to take away Spirit for now, but decides against it, backs away towards his own side of the map. Doesn't want to be overextended too far. 2 kills already is a great start for Maxlor. Currently has nearly 1,400 gold in the bank, just over 1,300 right now.
Oh my god. I was coming into this game and I was just like, wow, he doesn't have Nidalee, he doesn't have an early aggressive jungler this time, and he still gets 2 kills at 3 minutes into the game.
And that's what we were talking about, was like, how can you do it on Rek'Sai? Because Rek'Sai shouldn't be able to bully out Olaf. Well, if he gets the help from
red buff.
the Brambleback in the jungle, wails away with a couple of hits from that, but now we're seeing even this bottom lane. SmittyJ's had a bit of a lead in the 1v1 for a while now, has a slight CS advantage as well. Giants starting out game 2 exactly like they started out game 1.
Unbelievable. And really, I feel like Fnatic outplayed themselves, at least in the early game. Sunstar receiving a bit of damage in that lane from Yellowstar, just abusing vision there. Maxlor is going to head into the bottom lane now. At least this time, he's going to be spotted out by a preemptive ward. And another ward over the wall, so yeah, won't be getting a gank onto this bot lane for now. Still pressure onto Gamsu. Look how far back he is in this lane.
Yeah, sat well back. It's interesting, you'd say, Fnatic undoing themselves with the plays early, because that's exactly what we saw happen yesterday against G2, where Fnatic went, okay, let's try an unorthodox play. Let's put Spirit top lane, try and get a kill here. Oh wait, they had TP. End up losing the fight horribly in game 2 early on, and it tilts the game away from them. So Fnatic seem to be in kind of panic mode in a lot of these scenarios where they lose game 1, and they aren't able to stabilize properly in game 2 without trying to make some wild play for themselves.
Yeah, not looking too hot right now. Maxlor, he's coming into this top lane. Not currently warded from Fnatic.
Yellowstar's no flash, remember?
No flash, but he's near full health. Sunstar's going to come forward with the 4th shot. Maxwell instantly exhausted. Doesn't have flash, remember, but Reckless
the chain.
can still be under attack.
CC.
Double knock-up anyway. Bubble lands. Sunstar gets the 4th shot and the kill. 3-0 Giants.
Again, Giants are punishing Fnatic's early game play. Fnatic try and invade on the red. They had to use so many summoners and different abilities to get away from that situation earlier that now Maxlor is just getting his duo lane further and further ahead when it comes to kills, but they are down in CS. Spirit getting zoned away from his own jungle right now.
This is not really good at all for Spirit. He's going to run back towards Maxlor as Fevman's going to try and help him out Rune Prison. Maxlor's going to shrug off a lot of this damage, but he gets the full combo, hits the tunnel.
Oh wow, he's out.
Huston is still there. Yeah, I mean, he was fine by himself, pretty much.
The difference between Febby at level 6, though, is he didn't have the chase potential.
Yeah,
he was only level
power.
5. Yeah, if he'd have had that extra ability to kind of stick on top of Maxlor, maybe been able to get it.
That's true. This bottom lane matchup as well has not only been an island, but there's been slight advantages. All right, we'll touch on that in a second, but take a look at this gank once more. I thought he was fine.
Chilling
he was very not.
Allows for the W as well after some of the damage from Maxlor, and then W into bubble.
That was it.
Easy off the unburrow.
That's all she wrote. Yeah, another great gank and another game where Maxlor is really setting up Sunstar. Mid-lane Knight 1v1 against Featherman, and he is ticking down, and luckily he's going to run out of this ultimate. Knight was actually trying to go off to the side to try and keep the speed up, as, of course, as the storm gets away from him. It will slow down. Gamsu.
Wait, hang on. Dual lane's bot lane here. Gamsu goes aggressive.
And Smitty, he jumps onto SmittyJ. He'll get the Gnar ultimate down, but Sunstar and Hustler are easily able to pick up the kill.
Gamsu thought the duo lane was going back top lane. There was no information that Giants were putting their duo side, but no wards out to defend against that. Gamsu thought this was just a run-of-the-mill attempted trade. Turns out it's a bait all along, and Giants again a 4-0 up against Fnatic.
Oh my word. I mean, no one expects that to ever happen. It's like in solo queue, it's like, why is the bottom lane here? But then they're not really getting much in return. Sunstar and Hustle are going to take this bottom tower, probably going to trade the top tower for it, but another kill over to Giants. Sunstar's getting big, Maxor is already big. Smitty J has definitely won this matchup now. And Fnatic, yes, they want to group up in the same way that they did last time, but this is literally a carbon copy of the last game.
So let's take a look at these matchups down the line. So,
I'm looking.
Top lane, Smitty J, we said it would roughly be even, but he's coming out slightly ahead here. Gamsu then getting punished in the setup. Mid lane, again, is going Knight's way. They've had a lot of presence onto Featherman from that early game gank, but Maxwell managed to pick up the kill. Bottom lane, though, the farm is the big difference. Reckless is way up on Sunstar as well. So they need to get a little bit of farm onto this Jhin before they can really look to group effectively, but it's kind of evened out back and forth between the teams. But 2 kills on the Jhin is going to make up for a lot of the farm that's missing.
He's
so
equal.
you can't really mess with that.
He's equal gold with Reckless, so it doesn't matter how badly he farms in lane or how he's got out-farmed by Reckless, he's still even. And he's quickly getting towards his first item here. Maxor didn't quite get the Praise Seeker down onto Spirit, but he'll go into the bottom side of the jungle, knowing that Hustle and the Maxor are just warding this so hard.
It's funny you'd say warding. If observers could perhaps vision toggle for us when there's no action, you'll see the difference.
So we can't see the bot lane.
Yeah, exactly. Can't see the trade. There's a major difference in vision control. Look at all the red wards spattered around the bottom side, and just honestly everywhere through Fnatic's top and bottom jungle. Fnatic barely even have their own jungle camps warded, let alone anywhere that's spotting Giants out effectively.
Yeah, Fnatic have 1 pink ward that luckily Maxor didn't spot. But Giants are going to take the top tower here. Will that be traded in the bottom side? Well, Smitty J's there, and he might be able to defend. Tempered Fate's going to CC the tower for now. Here comes Spirit. Smitty J shouldn't be able to get out here alive. Flashes over the tower, but has been exhausted. Finally, Spirit will take him out. Magical Journey will save the life of Yellowstar, and at least that's something going over to Fnatic.
Omreka Bard in action right there. Tower did fall in the top side. Should be evened up for Fnatic on the next minion wave that pushes in. So the trade will be in Fnatic's favor for now. It is Cloud Drake though, so it's not like they can bounce from this and take like an Infernal or a Mountain. Honestly, that was one of the big factors that helped Giants, was the RNG perhaps of going back to back Mountain Drakes of the early game. Gave them a little bit too strong a pushing potential, but hey, they got the lead, they got the Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, you can still say to Fnatic, you shouldn't fell behind them. Yeah. I mean, still lost all those dragons. Still useful regardless when you get that Elder Dragon. And Maxor, I mean, when a Rek'Sai has the freedom to go into an Olaf's jungle and just take away his red buff, like completely uncontested, you know things have gone pretty wrong in the early game. And
this is one of the situations where I think back to what Featherman and Perks were talking about. I know I've said this a couple of times today, about these picks like Olaf, like Hecarim, which in scrims can go like 16-0 is the figure they used. It's an exaggeration, but it says the same point. If you don't get those kills, it is very difficult on a pick like Olaf to try and get the same kind of flank effectiveness that you would have on a top lane Olaf, because top lane Olaf can TP in from the side. Very easy setup comparatively, whereas now Spirit has to somehow go through the front door using the speed up from Reckless and somehow stay alive. It's not like he's got Shen shields coming out on him either, so they're going to rely on Yellowstar to start the fight and see whether Spirit can do enough to hold them.
I mean, that's the key really here. It's got to be from a Tempered Fate. Featherman, as soon as he comes in, gets immediately bubbled, but Gamsu was also on top of there looking for the TP. Hustlin is not going to go anywhere. Who wants to pick up the kill? It's going to be Reckless. And Fnatic do find a kill in return.
Giants too far out against double TP with no tower behind them. Makes for an easy kill pickup for Fnatic. I was going to say, do they transition that into a Cloud Drake? The answer for now is no. They don't actually feel like that's valuable right now. Reckless pushes at the bottom lane. Fnatic kind of just regress back. I guess they're content with closing some of the gap between the teams right now.
And that will allow Fnatic to push down the bottom lane as well before Sunstar and Hustle are able to react. So how are we doing right now? The goal differential is not as bad as it was a couple minutes ago, almost edging on 3,000 gold, now just over 1,000. So Fnatic closing in here. Giants are able to take the consolation prize of the Rift Herald in the top side. There's a Tempered Fate in the mid lane, going to be flashed out by 9, but great ultimate from Yellowstar to burn that Summoner. And his Herald is putting up a fight, especially because Smitty is out of mana, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but they're going to give this one to Maxor, actually, not for the 1v1 for Smitty.
Well, I mean, Smitty's going to be fairly confident against Gamsu until that Executioner's Calling comes out. He's ahead again in this matchup, and Maxor over on the side lane is going to be fairly strong himself. So expect Rek'Sai to be down over bottom or top, and then ult his way back towards the rest of the team setup. So it does have its uses. Maxwell's still a level up on Spirit. I am looking, though, at this matchup in the mid lane. Featherman down in CS again. We talked about the matchup earlier, although Yellowstar wants to look at bottom lane first. Gives the game away. Yeah,
Magical Journey, unfortunately, can be seen by your enemies. And Sunstar and Hudson were already a little too far back to really get Spirit in there. He did have Ragnarok and Ghost. So 2 and 4 in this game, currently 13 minutes in. No one has gone for the initial Cloud Dragon. Is still surviving on the map. Top lane, finally getting this 1v1 again. Gamsu, really sad, because like every time we see him, he's always just like hopping away, and the one time he goes in happens to be Sunstar and Hudson. It's like, really? Really
unlucky.
Sad, yeah. But yeah, we have kind of stabilized a little bit, so both teams just backing off. And this is good for Fnatic. They can finally get to a point in the game where they can group up as 5 and actually use their composition without just being horrifically behind before they get to that point. Or maybe not, because Maxwell's going to find him in the mid lane. Tidal Wave will land onto Yellowstar, and Maxwell's still following after Queen's Wrath, but he'll be locked in place. Febvin coming in, Maxwell survived, so does Yellowstar. And meanwhile, on the top side, Gamsu and Spirit aggressing onto Smitty J, but the bird just simply won't die. He's going to go down eventually, but it's going to take a long time to do it. Finally, we'll get him. And Reckless is under fire as well. Hudson and Maxwell will come in for the kill alongside Knight. So that was a 1-for-1 trade across the map.
Got the shield out after all, but the second shot that followed hit him. And man, at this point, Smitty J doesn't have the mana on the top side to be able to make those 1v2 plays. Yes, he's got Rod of Ages, but he still can't take the same damage to give him the mana back off a tank like that. So really, Smitty J biting off more than he could chew at that point. Giants managed to capitalize with a kill onto Reckless at that point, but still Reckless has the farm advantage. He's been doing a good job of that so far this game. Giants pushed that middle tower, will maintain their lead. They've extended it back up to around 3,000 though. It was at 1.5, now they've got a little bit more.
Yeah, not looking too bad for Fnatic. It's good that Reckless is on basically a vacuum cleaner of a ADC, where he just like walks into a lane, sucks up all the minions, and just walks mid lane, Fem's like, put my farm. But Maxlaw comes in here, is looking really good for Giants once again, also tagging with the Tidal Wave, but Fnatic do turn it around.
Yeah, heal came out onto Yellowstar, was able to heal himself as well. There was an exhaust in the mix. A lot was used from Fnatic, so we can take a look. Reckless was just stepping too far up in the lane. Forced to flash out. Sidestep was on, but it was shot number 4 that actually killed him then, I guess. Oh no, it was shot 4 was in the right place, but Mike got the kill.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bardot was just used bottom lane. Did not catch Sunstar though. Forces the flash out. So we can keep track of that. Sunstar had to flash away, won't have it for the next fight.
Yellowstar's been doing a good job this game. We were trying to think, or trying to look at how well it does, because of North America we were not too impressed with his Bard, but in this game he's burnt a lot of flashes and had some really good engages with the Tempered Fate. Of course, had this set up in the bottom lane onto that tower, so far been pretty good from Yellowstar. And now in this middle lane, we'll be able to siege in here. However, Maxor is looking for a kill onto Yellowstar. He'll be taking the Magical Journey, so will Reckless, but Knight's there to greet them. Ultimate comes in, and the long-range ultimate from Sunstar will be locking down Yellowstar. The laser and the ultimate from Knight will eventually finish him off. Spirit's going to have to back away, so will Reckless and Feathervin. And that's just another kill over to Giants.
And Yellowstar right now is good at a play set as he's been picking up here with the ults coming through, burning summoners time and time again. He's still very squishy, so if he does overextend like that with the rest of Fnatic, they can fairly easily be picked off by Sunstar. We heard Veritas talking about it, how easily you can burst people down. Uh-oh, Featherman.
Probably should have stepped forward there, right into a bulb from Hudson. Another lockdown, another kill. Giants will be happy to pick up that kill and the middle lane tower.
Another tower going over to Giants. This time they don't have the 3 Mountain Drakes that preceded the hemorrhaging of towers that Fnatic had in the last game. Looks like they're collapsing on bottom lane just to push that back out. I was going to say maybe Cloud Drake, but they split up again. Nobody wants Cloud Drake. Come on, just take it. Get the next one.
Exactly. Get the next
Get a
one.
fun one.
And plus, like, it's still 45 extra damage over time when you pick up the Elder Dragon. That's what it gives you, not the movement speed. But it's just like, yeah, just
you lost me for a
else.
second there. It's like, did we change that? No, yeah, Elder Drake. Okay, we're like 30 minutes away from that.
Exactly. It's still something. So it's 17 minutes in here. In the games we had yesterday, it was like 22 minutes before we saw anyone go for that. And they only picked up, Giants only picked it up because Knight could solo it. That's the only reason they went for it.
So sad.
Yeah. Because honestly, at this stage, okay, maybe you don't want to step out if you're Fnatic, because every time they do step out, they lose someone. So.
Like, again, I don't feel like... So it's being changed coming up, right? And it gives it an extra +10, I think, is on the change. Full disclosure, patch notes don't normally get checked by the caster team until, like... Yeah. It's actually live on the patch. So I don't think that really fixes one individual Cloud Drake. Like, sure, that gets so much faster when you get 3 and then Elder. Brilliant. I was never contesting that 3 Cloud Drakes with Elder was bad. Gamsu would like 3 right now because he's getting caught.
Hop. Gets out of the bubble. Spirit's there to help him, but this is all going to fizzle out. Yellowstar's coming in. There's a Manical Journey looking to cut off Maxlaw. Needs a Cosmic Binding. Austin's going to have to flash away. Spirit's chasing after as well. Knight's going to come into this one, and the TPs will rain down. And your Sunstar is getting these long-range artillery shots down onto Planet. 800 damage crit onto Spirit will finish him off. Double kill out for Sunstar there. And Giants will be locked in place by Yellowstar, salvaging this situation just a little. A 1-for-2 trade for Giants. He's still under attack. Beatrice will slow him down. Get him, Bird. All right, he's going to have to flash away. And
again, it forces them away from the tower that Fnatic now can't really afford to defend it because of how all of this crowd control is coming out. I mean, that 4th hit that lands, we always get a little surprised by the damage because it just hit a tank in Mega Gnar form with all of those added resistances, smashes straight through about a quarter of his health and takes him out from the fight. And I mean, you can relish in the fact that it happens again. Gamsu trying to be a little tricky on the way out. Ever so close on that bubble to landing. So Gamsu then wants to turn the fight around, ends up in Mega Gnar. It looks good for Fnatic after a while, but there's a good Nami ult that comes through here. It kind of disrupts what Spirit and Gamsu want to do. Of course, Spirit was in his ultimate form right there, so didn't actually get knocked up by it. But at that point, the positioning in the fight is made a lot more difficult by that Nami ultimate. They cannot keep the damage going.
No, they cannot. 20 minutes into this game, and it's not quite as dire as it was last game, but still pretty bad. Here comes Manical Jones through the wall, and it will be Yellowstar to pick up the blue buff, so we'll be happy with that for now. At least denying it from Smitty is a big deal. Yeah,
they really would have wanted that to go on Smitty J. We saw his mana issues earlier, and he's building towards that Zhonya's Hourglass next, so it doesn't inherently fix the mana issues, so that blue buff would have been nice for him to add there. Ooh, Maxlaw. We saw a couple of over-aggressive plays from Maxlaw in the first game when they had a lead, when they were looking to close out the game, but this time Maxlaw maybe not quite having the same confidence that we saw in game 1 where he was like, I carried the early game.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want now. It's my birthday. I'm just going to walk into the enemy team 1v3. It's fine.
I'm pretty sure it's you can cry if you want to, not you can take control of somebody else's jungle and crush them in 35 minutes if you want to.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, it's also Spirit's birthday, but it's not had the best of performances, unfortunately.
He can cry if he wants to. Yeah, that's how the song goes. So, I hope he's not, though, because he came straight out of this game and was just like, okay, I'm going to invade you level 2. Yeah. I'm going to try and kill you. You managed to get red buff to fight against me and really screw me over in the early game.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but no tears in this game. Only Rise has picked up a Tear of the Goddess so far.
I thought you were saying only Dreams.
Only Dreams. Nah. Dreams and Challenger, mate, but Maxlaw
walking off.
All right, it's not solo cast. Maxlaw has still been doing very well in this game. 8 assists in this game total, of course, with those 2 kills out of 9. So he's had a big part of Giant success. Yes, he was kind of set up by Spirit, funny enough, by him just walking into the zone. I was like, hey, you want a kill? Here's a kill. And red buff double manned him. But hey, yeah, Cloud Dragon go down. 21 minutes. The first Cloud Dragon. Let me check what the next dragon's going to be here. Stress. Cloud Dragon.
Come on. Just once. We've actually been fairly lucky with the Cloud Drakes. Oh.
Whoop. Oh,
swap. Febby wants the Swain, though. That's where he's really going.
Yeah, Smitty.
Oh, they're going to go Baron at the same time. Look, direct side up towards the top side of the map. Fnatic have way overcommitted bottom side.
He just needs to buy time. It's fine that he dies here, and Giants are immediately onto this Baron. I don't even think Fnatic can remotely contest, and they're sending 3 members up the river. They're just going to go back and farm. I mean...
Fnatic, I mean... The play was somewhat right if you only commit a handful of people to that play.
Not 5.
If you commit maybe 2 or 3 maximum people, if you've got teleport users there, you can actually take out the Swain and then be able to defend a position like that. But Fnatic were getting pushed in the top side. They didn't really have any answers.
I mean, that was the easiest play for Giants to make. I mean, it was just like around the Baron area, and it's like, well, this is easy.
A very decisive play as well, because, I mean, Maxlor goes, okay, well, let's just go for the Baron.
Yeah.
And ults his way out. Had anybody from Fnatic kind of been around Maxlor, he wouldn't have been able to. Would have got stopped before he would ult. But man, that's a play that shows a lot of confidence from this Giants lineup. And I guess why wouldn't they be? I mean, the only thing really not going their way is the farm currently in the AD carry role. But the farm everywhere else and the number of kills that your AD carry has is well and above what Giants need right now.
Easy outweighs it. And even in terms of gold, he's actually ahead of Reckless, despite how much farm Reckless has been soaking up in this game. 23 minutes in now. Giants are significantly ahead, 7,000 gold. Yes, it's gone a little bit differently from game 1, but I mean, Fnatic are also in a position where they want to group up for these team fights. We'll find it very difficult with no reliable engage. I guess like Yellowstar is the only guy really. It's can he land the Tempered Fate? If not, then let's hope that Gamsu can get a TP in. If not, then well, let's reset for the next 5 minutes and wait for our summoners again. Yeah,
I mean, Yellowstar's got a bunch of flashes out already, but without being able to utilize those flashes being down. Oh, bubble on Reckless. Oh, wow!
Full combo with a tidal wave. Reckless is going to have to flash away. Here's the long-range damage. Someone's going to have to body block for him. Luckily, he's out of range in time. Defensive ultimate from Reckless has to burn every single summoner he has. And Giants are going to use this opportunity to take this bottom lane tower. It is dying awfully quickly, with its minion wave also flooding in. Reckless can't clear out. He only just comes into this bottom lane, and Giants are still looking for more.
Gamsu's only just recalling here as well, so it's not even like one of their crowd control tools is available, because he just had Mega Knight expire. Oh man, this has been so good for Giants, despite the fact they didn't actually pick up the kill. Just getting that damage down just cracked the base of Fnatic open completely.
What a creative way as well to open up that opportunity, because you do not expect when you're in your own base to get bubbled and then full comboed by a Victor who happens to be hanging around the wall. So Reckless, I mean, just taking a leisurely stroll on the base, and that was not safe at all. Spirit and Fevman are going to go towards this blue buff now, and Smitty J really wanted it. Go on, Bird, get it for me. No, unfortunately out of range, so he'll be flying away. And Knight is going to take the other blue buff, so Smitty J eternally without blue buff, unfortunately. Not a great day.
Feels bad. So the interesting thing is, so a 2-0 for Giants right now actually wouldn't change the standings at this current time. But what it would do for Giants is give them a 4-point buffer between 6th and 7th, which that's the playoff spots that we're looking for. We're on the road to Worlds. We're looking for those playoff opportunities. Yep. Maybe get yourself to Krakow and get yourself a good spot in the gauntlet. A 4-point berth between yourself and the next person is actually a significant amount when you look at how many draws the teams underneath have been getting. I mean, most of the teams beneath have had like 6 draws and 1 win only, which that's going to be like 4 more draws. And Giants have to lose every game.
But it's huge. I mean, like, Giants, those 2-0s really count. We were saying this at the start of the season, but we were saying it kind of like, oh, if they want to get out of relegation, now they're looking towards playoffs.
And the fact that they'll also pretty much steal points from Fnatic when you look at it. Fnatic would be looking at this expecting to at least pick up a point from this series.
Yeah.
But Giants are about to shut them out.
Here's the engage here from Fnatic, trying to make something happen, but Spirit runs in and instantly dies. Gamsu's in from behind, but they don't even want this fight anymore. Fedman's getting eaten down by Smitty J. The long-range damage in from Sodstar. Triple kill for Giants, double kill for Knight. Giants, 26 minutes in, are actually looking to finish the game. Yellowstar and Gamsu can't defend. What is even going on? Gamsu, he's back into mini form, and there's 5 men there from Giants who are all basically full health. The second Nexus turret dying. I can't even believe my eyes. Giants are going to take the 2-0 over Fnatic this week.
An insane performance out from Giants. Really have to commend some of their early game plays against Fnatic here. Punishing Fnatic's early game weaknesses in this series and just converting it home in both games.
I don't know who's more surprised, me and the crowd. We just saw a shop there and all the mouths are open. It's like, what did we just witness?
I mean, we heard how loud the crowd was. They're stunned.
Yep. As am I, Stress. As am I. And wow, Giants. I mean, they played well. It wasn't even like a game where like Fnatic just like, okay, they did fall apart, but like Giants.
The playoffs in the back of your head, so tell us what you think.
Well, I do think a lot of things. I don't want to speak out on all of them, but I do think that right now it's basically for us where we do think of the playoff picture, and we do have a couple of games coming in with teams in our like bracket of the standings more or less, where we play against Unicorns I think next week, and we play against Vitality next week.
Yep.
And these are the teams we gotta beat because they're definitely just next to us. So it crawls into the back of your mind to a certain extent, and you definitely do start to think about it. Especially if you're a team with aspirations that we have, where we do want to go to Worlds. I don't want to have a long off season, that'd be boring. I want to go to Worlds and be able to compete against the best players, and I do think that's the same for all of our players. So if we have those aspirations coming in and those ambitions coming in, you definitely have the thought process that, man, we got to start winning some games.
Yeah, and I think you should aspire not only to win them, but to win them in less than 35 minutes. That's no? Longest average game time in the ULCS, so.
Yeah, I wonder why. 80 minutes?
I don't know.
67 minutes?
A win is still a win, and that's what's important at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Unless you lose after and
Exactly, then it's the tie.
At that point, it's the tie.
Just 2-0 them. Let's take a look at the player of the game leaderboard. No surprises, I think, at the top. I don't think anything has changed there, seeing how Trick got another one today. So 6th, then Spirit, Cabochard. Jankos is in there. Amazing's also in the top 10. A lot of jump.
Yeah, but I think I'm only there because my name starts with an A.
Right, because the alphabet goes
A lot of
E,
threes,
S,
that's true, it's a lot of threes.
Yeah. Who's your biggest surprise in there?
Actually, there's no surprise. Maybe Knight, because I didn't think he would be that strong coming in. But he's definitely shown that he's a player capable of carrying the team. But maybe also Gilius, because
Yes, I agree.
Gilius is someone that maybe for the split he thought was maybe even dumb coming into the game, that he doesn't understand the game on the highest level, and he's definitely shown it on a like completely different, that he's able to understand the game on the highest level while even transcending, which basically makes you a player of the game, because at that point you're equalizing whatever the enemy is doing, and you're basically putting something on top, and you're basically carrying your team to things that they couldn't normally do. And I think Gilius is someone that mechanically sound, understands the game. There's nothing bad about him. Good champion pool, and he's definitely capable of carrying games.
I think the big thing for Gilius, and the funny thing is that he got a lot of these play of the game very early on in the split, where he actually would like just hard carry games. He would just go like 10-0 on an Italy and just win the game for his team. Now, the last 2 weeks, I feel like he's trying to slot more into just being the team player. Right here, I know for a fact that they're trying to practice a lot with shot calling. He said in an interview himself how when they're inconsistent, it's because of him. He feels like because he's calling wrong, or his early game is not strong enough, he makes some mistakes. So he puts a lot of pressure on himself, which is very good if you can then obviously improve from there on, and you can then become a much better player. But I think Schalke wins as a team, honestly. And I especially like the fact that Schalke, very often when they do win, it's because they play well and not because the other team plays really poorly. So I think they actually have some really cool components, and I think also the mid laner is doing extremely well, which is another bonus for them.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Fox crushing it.
I think Fox is incredibly good. I don't think that I expected him to do even close to as good as he does, but I do think that he's competing for being the top mid laner in the US, yes. Yeah. Which is something that most players maybe thought could happen, because he had a pretty good spring split, I think in 2015 when he played with Forgiven on the team in SK. He played extremely well, and he was able to basically use Svenskern's aggression, so Forgiven's aggression, to basically make a mark for himself. But now he's playing on a different team, and I do think that he's bringing the aggression at this point, because whenever I do see him playing lane swaps, I'd be surprised if I don't find him under my turret in minute 3. So
you don't have a turret. Yours
mid lane.
Oh, yeah, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Sure.
Sorry.
Okay.
Comical interjection.
Okay, whatever. Now I'm completely tilted, but
no, I feel
it's
bad.
fine. No, he's really aggressive. I do think that he's a great player, actually.
Yeah, definitely. The stats show it as well, even though a lot of players don't like to hear about the stats. But the player of the game leaderboard also has an influence of the on the summer MVP. For a full breakdown of how this ranking influences how the summer MVPs are chosen across the LCS, check out lolesports.com. And now for next next week, the EU LCS will be back on Friday, so that's different. At 5 p.m. Central European Summer Time, 8 a.m. Pacific, with Fnatic taking on Vitality and Origin facing the Unicorns of Love, as we see there. So Origin up versus UOL, that can always be a crazy game, amazing.
Yeah, I think last time was pretty crazy when we lost 0-2. I hope we don't repeat that, but I do think it's going to be a fun game to play.
I think Giants versus G2 could be a really good game. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Giants have been improving a lot. We have seen Knight versus Perks. He brought out the LeBlanc today. I think LeBlanc versus whatever Knight has to pull out could be an interesting one.
Oh, your smile, buddy.
You love it.
When you talk about Giants, and
I love it.
Great. And to close out the day, then it's going to be our match of the week between Schalke and H2K. And very important, Week 6 begins on Friday and continues through Saturday. Our coverage will begin on Saturday at noon Central European Summer Time. That is 3 a.m. Pacific for all of you night owls over in America. Just party and then watch the LCS or stay up late. Go rogue. I didn't tell you to do that, but yeah. Schalke, H2K?
I'm really excited for that one. We just talked about Schalke right now. We actually praised the team, we praised the players. So I think them trying to overtake H2K as the number 3 team in the region is actually super exciting. And I think right now, judging from how the teams have been playing, Schalke will get like a 60-40 from me. I actually think they will be the favorites to win, but in Europe it doesn't mean a whole lot. There's probably a high chance we get a 1-1, but I think Schalke has actually been looking extremely solid.
All right, we'll see what happens. If you still need more League after our broadcast, that's not me, after our broadcast tonight, grab your caffeine delivery system of choice and check out the NALCS, which will be going on later with Cloud9 facing Team Liquid first up in the NALCS, and then Echo Fox facing Team Envy. It all begins at 2 a.m. Central European Summer Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Oh, we're actually quite early today. That's 3 hours away, so people are going to have to do something else.
So let's do an hour more post-game lobby.
Yeah.
Amazing. Tell me about your life.
I actually really had to go to the bathroom before this, but I didn't. So if you keep talking for an hour, that might be problematic.
Blame him.
No, I'm just kidding. Next week, also, Friday Night's League will come your way 2 hours earlier. So mark your calendars. Is there anything else you want to say to Fisho?
No, I am done for today.
All right, cool. Thaddeus?
European League of Legends is awesome.
Definitely, and amazing.
No, nothing to say.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us. Always fantastic insight for us here at the European LCS. Time to log off for now. Thank you very much all for tuning in. Have a good night, and we will see you next Friday. Bye.